Thank you, Chairman Doyle. With scarce federal resources being spent every year for broadband development, we can all agree that the need to produce accurate broadband coverage maps has never been greater. I believe mapping legislation passed out of this committee should be quickly scalable, produce detailed coverage data swiftly, and not place extra reporting burdens on small internet providers. We know too well that the census block reporting structure is outdated and hurting rural and tribal communities. Simply ask small town businesses across America, economic development groups, our teachers educating children, our public safety officials and first responders, our citizens nationwide in rural areas whose quality of life is being impacted daily without affordable connectivity. They'll all say that our coverage maps are failing them and we must act swiftly to fix them, if they knew what a coverage map was. This is going to require partnerships for coordination and investment. America needs these families where they're at. They need to have a good quality of life. Urban America really needs these families where they're at, whether it's for food or water or transportation or energy, you name it. Urban society, urban America doesn't exist without them where they're at. And so we need to find an answer to this. Mr. Essie, yeah, you stated that the goal of broadband mapping should be to focus on the broadband on where broadband is and isn't, and that trying to layer other types of data into this particular effort, while laudable, could cause unintended delays. What exactly is the type of data that the FCC should focus on collecting for broadband mapping, and how quickly could this type of data be replicated nationwide?
Thank you for the question. I think first and foremost, we should follow the direction that the FCC set down in the order it recently adopted in August and push forward with the adoption of shapefiles. I think that gives us a granular picture of where broadband is and where broadband isn't. I think the idea of the location tool and really getting atomistically into the longitude and latitude of individual buildings in unserved America could certainly be of interest, and there is a proceeding teed up at the FCC to answer a number of the questions that the pilot project turned up. So I think it's certainly of something that we should continue to look at and pursue, but I would not want that to slow the progress that we are about to make in moving to a shapefile-based reporting.
And what about timing? How quickly could that data be replicated nationwide?
Well, that really is up to, I think right now we're waiting on some direction from USAC. The order has been adopted by the commission, but we have folks who are, making the plans now to be able to comply as quickly as possible.
God help us. Ms. Bloomfield, NCTA's membership knows all too well the struggles that small internet service providers often face in providing broadband in difficult-to-reach rural communities. I was just out in my district, and I traveled about 4,500 miles, and I had cell reception at least half the time. So I can just imagine what the rest of it's like. As Congress and the FCC work towards reforming the reporting requirements that produce our maps, could you outline the importance of mapping legislation offering technical and financial assistance to small providers under a new reporting structure?
I appreciate your thinking that way because, again, as you look at carriers, particularly small ones, taking on additional burdens, the question is, if you've got a staff of 15, what can you actually accomplish? I think from a shapefile perspective, I think that folks already file so much data now because most of my companies are universal service recipients, so they're very used to collecting data, sharing data. That's part of kind of their process. Going to a more complex system, greatly appreciate the thought process that you may be leading down, which is that there may take more resources as we get even more granular to help some of these smaller providers actually track where exactly those locations that are served or are not exist.
I'm not leading down it, that's where I'm going.
Excellent.
And thank you for your comments. I just want to say, we need to invest more as a government in this process. It's about our citizens and their safety also. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.